Hi there, my name is Adam. I'm a robot, and my mission is to teach manual testers how to automate their tests. Today, we're going to walk through the first step of automation using Playwright. We'll install Playwright, create a new test project, and run a sample test. Before we begin, there are a couple of things you'll need: Node.js, and an IDE like Visual Studio Code. To check if you have Node.js installed, open your terminal and type node-v. This will display the current version of Node. If you don't have Node.js installed, go to nodejs.org to download it. Let's start by setting up our project. Let's clear terminal and create a new folder for your Playwright project. You can name it something like Playwright Project. Now, with the project folder ready, let's initialize Playwright. In terminal, navigate to the folder and run the command npm init playwright at latest. This will create a new Playwright project and guide you through a few setup questions. When prompted, choose TypeScript as the language for your tests. Next, specify that your tests will be placed in the test folder. When asked if you want to add a GitHub Actions workflow, select No. Finally, agree to install the Playwright browsers by selecting Yes. Playwright has now initialized your project. Let's quickly review the project structure and explain what each file does. First, we have playwright.config.ts. This is where Playwright settings are defined, such as which browsers to run tests on and other test configuration details. We'll dive deeper into this file in a future lesson. Next, there's package.json, which contains metadata about your project and its dependencies. The important part here is that you can see the Playwright testing library is listed under dependencies as at playwright/test. We'll also revisit this file later. Then, there's packagelock.json. This file ensures consistency by locking the exact versions of dependencies. For now, we don't need to worry about its contents. Inside the test folder, you'll find example.spec.ts, which is an auto-generated test file. We'll explore its contents shortly. There's also a tests examples folder with a more complex demo test file. We won't focus on it, but feel free to explore this file if you're curious. Lastly, there's node modules, where all project dependencies are stored, and .git ignore, which tells Git which files to ignore when version controlling the project. We won't need to interact with these for now. Now let's take a closer look at the example test that was generated for us in example.spec.ts. The first test here is named hasTitle. In the first step, it uses the goto method with the URL, and this is run on the page object to navigate to the Playwright homepage. Then, it uses the expect function combined with the toHaveTitle method to verify that the page's title contains the word Playwright. The second test is named getStartedLink. Similar to the first test, it begins by navigating to the Playwright homepage. Then, it uses the getByRole method to find a link on the page with the text Get Started and clicks it. Finally, it checks if a heading containing the word installation is visible on the page using expect combined with the toBeVisible method. Now that we've reviewed the tests, let's run them. To execute the tests, go back to your terminal and type npx playwright test. This will run both tests across 3 different browsers: Chromium, Firefox, and WebKit. So you'll see 6 tests being executed, 2 tests per browser. Once the tests finish running, you should see that all 6 tests have passed. This is because Playwright runs tests in parallel across multiple browsers. Now, how can we understand in more detail what happened during each test? Playwright offers a UI mode for this. To launch it, run the command npx playwright test-ui. The Playwright UI allows you to inspect each test run in detail. You can see which steps were executed, and you can even rerun individual tests directly from the interface. For example, you can see a timeline of the test's execution and step through the actions it performed. And that's it. We've successfully installed Playwright, explored the project structure, ran our first tests across multiple browsers, and used the Playwright UI to review the test results. You're now set up to start automating your tests with Playwright.